This video is intended for site owners who are just starting out with PointFire. So say that your site administrator has just added some PointFire apps to your site. What do you do next? So the first thing that you'll probably want to do is go check what apps are there. You go to the site content. And in this case, I've got three apps: PointFire 365, PointFire 365 Modern, and the PointFire Translator add-in. That one is optional. You may or may not have that one. That has been added to the site. The first thing you want to do is activate it. So click on PointFire 365. That's going to bring you to a screen that shows you, if it hasn't been activated yet, you'll see the big activate button is flashing. What might happen is that you might have to enter a license key if that hasn't been entered. In this case, there's an expiry date in the future. Somebody's already entered a license key for here. So I'm going to start activating. What I see here in the message when I try to activate is it's telling me, please enable custom scripting on the SharePoint Admin Center, download the script. So what you'll want to do is click on the word here, which is in blue, so that you can download the script that will allow you to turn on custom scripting. So the script that you're downloading is called enablescripting.ps1. You have to change the extension. It offers a .txt extension. Delete that so that you're left with just the .ps1 extension. What will sometimes happen is that it will tell you that there's already a copy of that. You do want to replace it. Enable scripting. On every site, there's a script called Enable Scripting. They all have the same name, but they're different scripts. They're site-specific. So overwrite the one that was there before. And then the next thing you want to do is to go to whatever the folder where it was downloaded it, and you'll want to execute and run this with PowerShell. Okay, so it's a PowerShell script. You open the script. It's going to prompt you to sign into your account to make sure that you have the authority to turn off scripting on this site. So if you're the site owner, you probably have that authority already. Once that's done, it's just going to run. It's ended. So custom scripting has been enabled. So let's try to activate once again and see if we get the same error. We don't get the error message. What we get is a list of languages. So this is where you have to select the list of languages. Some site templates have all languages enabled, so you want to turn them off and just select the ones that you want. Some of them have none of them enabled, so you'll just select the one that you want. So here we have English already. We'll adding French. We'll continue. You'll see in yellow there is a bunch of messages that come up telling you what it's doing. And when it's done, then it is activated. How do you know that it is activated? Well, if you go to any of the pages on the site at this point, select your personal menu, you'll see there's something that says language. This is something that PointFire 365 lets you do, is toggle your language. If it's there, that means activation has been successful, installation is successful. Next thing you want to do is go back to the screen where you were before, and we want to translate the user interface. That means the navigation, that means menus, column headings, all sorts of things are part of the user interface. There's a button here that lets you translate the interface if you have sufficient permissions to do this. It is a three-step process, by which it means you have to press 3 buttons. We'll do the first one. It says, please do not close this window. While that window is there, just wait, it's going to disappear by itself. What it's done is it's found all the text on the site that can be translated but has not yet been translated, all the user interface text. It's put it into a list. That list is called the multilingual translations list. That's what's going to contain a copy of all of the user interface translation before any translation happens. So let's go look at this list, click on Edit Translation, and we see the term, and we see that none of the translations are there yet. It's found a lot of different terms that come from the template that was used. The second step is to do machine translation. Click the machine translate icon. Once again, do not close the window. It will close by itself. The second step can take a couple of minutes, so just be patient. We recommend that people not go to a different tab while this is going on. However, I know that at some point it is safe, so I'll show you in a different tab what is happening to the multilingual translations list as this second step is going on. So I'll go to that list once again, just so that you can see, and I will refresh the page, and you can see that some of the translations are in there. Some of the translations are machine translations. Some of it finds translations that you've used before on other sites. Some of it's reusing the same translations that SharePoint uses. So it's going to fill up that entire list with suggested translations and then give you the opportunity to edit those translations once that flashing yellow number turns green again. It's green, so let's go and reload that tab. And now we see all of the translations have been filled in. It's got suggested translations. If there are any translations that you disagree with here, all you have to do is edit the list and change it. Just change it to whatever you think is the appropriate translation. Anyway, I'm not going to make that change. I'll undo it. Once that list is ready, then you want to do the third step, which is to apply those translations. Step 3 is just like step 1, but in reverse. That is to say, rather than reading everything that requires translation and putting it into a list, it reads from the list, it writes to the user interface elements. And now that it's green again, we're done. We can close this window and we can go back to the site, and I'll just show you what happens. I'll show you with the navigation. That's the easiest thing. So you see the navigation is in English first. If I change my language to French, watch the navigation. The navigation is now completely in French. Okay, so the entire user interface has been translated. You'll see that the content has not yet been translated. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to take the content of those pages and translate that. So let's go to the page library and we'll see where this page is located. We'll switch to English first before we do that, just so that you can see it in English. So we'll go to the page library. And you can see all the pages are there. The one which is the new home page, because we've used a template, it's not home.aspx anymore, it is departmenthome.aspx. The first thing you want to do is make that list multilingual. So you just click on multilingual options. It's asking, do I want to mark any existing items as EN? There are some pages there already. Those pages are all in English. I want to mark all those pages as being English pages. That will save me some work later on. So those are all English pages. And the next thing that I want to do is to create some French pages. The list is now multilingual. That is to say, you can tag items by language. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to translate that department home using PointFire Translator. You can do it either from the page library itself, by selecting a page and selecting PointFire Translator in the ribbon, or you can go to the page directly, and then when you are on that page, you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, there's an option called PointFire Translator. That's going to be there when the page is translatable and you have the permissions that are required in order to translate that page. So we start the translation. It may ask you to select your account again the first time, but once that's done, in a few seconds, it's going to come back with a screen telling you whether it has translated the page or not. Translation to French, document translated successfully. Let's go back to the site. And then let's go look at this page, Department Home. Here it is in English. I will toggle my language to French. And what I see once it toggles user interface is now in French, and the content is now entirely in French. It has created a copy of the page in French, and when my language is French, it shows me the French version of the page rather than the original one. You can do the same thing with the document library. You can make the document library multilingual. In that case, you can translate documents in the document library. People whose language is English will see the English document. People whose language is French are going to see the French version of the document. So that's essentially it. This is an introduction to what to do next once PointFire has been installed on your site. Thank you very much.